this video I am going to talk a little bit about breast or bottle. I don't want to start any sort of we'll start again on that. I don't want to start any debate or anything. I'm not dissing any mothers or saying one mother's, not good compared to another because they choose this or choose that. I'm just discussing my views on breastfeeding and bottle feeding from my own personal choice and my views. So whatever you choose to do or have done, if you're a bottle or breastfeeding mum, that is absolutely fine. It's completely your choice. It's your baby. It's your body. It is up to you what you choose to do. It is nobody else's choice and nobody else should really influence you on that. It's always good to do your own research and then make that decision for yourself. Do not try and get somebody else to push you into that. But it's nice to give a little bit of information to maybe mums who don't know about certain things out there. But really this video is just about the choice I made and why I made that choice personally. So this is not against anyone else, so do not take it personally against yourself. This is just about me. So let's get started. The reasons that I chose to breastfeed my daughter, who is now should be 4.5 now, but I only breastfed her for 10 months, not by choice, her choice actually. She self-weaned at 10 months. She decided she did not want breast milk anymore. She didn't want formula milk or anything. She just decided she didn't want milk anymore, and that was the end of it. I could not force her to feed from me. I couldn't force her to have anything else, so she just loved food. So that's the way it is. So before somebody gives the talk of, oh well, they have to have milk until they're 12 months old, we tried absolutely everything and she just was not interested. So yeah, these are the reasons I chose to breastfeed. Because when you breastfeed, you get, first of all on the list is better quality of sleep. Now, when I say better quality of sleep, I do not mean that you get any more sleep than if you were bottle feeding. I mean, technically, you sort of would a little bit, like 10 or 15 minute more sleep, maybe each time, due to the fact that you don't have to get up and make bottles and, wait for the kettle half an hour after you've boiled it and what have you. It's more about that your body releases a hormone while you are breastfeeding that makes you become relaxed and tired. So once you finish feeding your baby, these hormones that the body releases when they help to relax you, it helps you to go into a more deeper sleep. Now, when I say a deeper sleep, that doesn't mean you won't wake up for your baby. As soon as you hear your baby crying, you'll wake up. It won't affect that in any way. But going into a deeper sleep more quickly means that therefore even if you and someone else has the same amount of sleep, getting a better quality of sleep means that you will feel more energized the next day and not so tired. The number 2 reason is it's free. It doesn't cost anything to breastfeed. Now, you may find some people who say, oh well, what about these breast pumps, what about these breast pads you have to buy, and this, that, the other, nursing bras, all that. You don't have to buy any of them things. That is just by personal choice. You don't have, even if you want to express, you don't have to buy a pump. You could hand express. It's just some people find it easier to use a pump because that means that they have got one of their hands free, or a hand free, to do something else or read or whatever they're doing while they're expressing. Whereas hand expressions, you'd have to kind of use both your hands, so you haven't got your hands free while you're doing that. So it is free. I mean, you don't have to go buy out go and buy formula. You don't have to buy breast pads, you could just use tissue, I guess, but it's just easier for a lot of people to get breast pads. And I mean, you can get the reusable ones, what you just bung in the washer after, and I'm pretty sure that with some reusable ones I had, it was like £1 for 10 of them, so it's hardly expensive. The nursing bras do tend to cost a little more, but you don't have to have a nursing bra. It's just easier because, I mean, my maternity / nursing bra at the minute, as you can see, it has this little clip, and you just unclip it and it just pulls down like so, and then it just clips back on there. It just makes it easier, whereas a normal bra, you can just lift the bra up and feed. It's just easier to pull it down, or if you've got a top that's low cut, you know, it just makes it simpler, but it doesn't mean you have to spend the money on them things. So, antibacterial properties. So there is actually, like, you've got good bacteria and bad bacteria. Now, in breast milk, you have a lot of good bacteria in the breast milk that will get rid of bad bacteria. So, for instance, when you're bottle feeding, you have to sterilise all your bottles and things that you're using because of bacteria. You have to put boiling water into the formula. Obviously, you let it cool, but that is to kill any bacteria in the powder formula. With breastfeeding, you don't get that. There's antibacterial properties in the breast milk, so you don't have to sterilise anything at all. I mean, even if you chose to put breast milk into a bottle, it wouldn't matter because it'd kill any bad bacteria in there. So it was for that reason as well. Number 4, helps to build the immune system. Now, everybody knows that no matter what animal, person, the first milk is called, it's called colostrum, and that is the most important milk. Even if you decide to bottle feed, I think having that first little bit of colostrum, which is the yellowy stuff that you tend to leak during pregnancy, is essential, because that is full of all the immunities and things that baby needs to give the immune system a boost when they're first born, and that helps them before they have their injections to fight off against any illnesses or anything like that. And it does stay in the milk. Anything you come in contact with, say you come in contact with somebody with a cold and you are exclusively breastfeeding, it's very unlikely that your baby will then catch that cold, because your body, even if you catch the cold yourself, your body will build up an immunity and put that into your milk so that you don't pass it on to your baby. And when you breathe things in the air, your body will produce immunity against that, so as they don't catch it, because babies are so vulnerable. So your body does a really amazing job, really. No water. Right, you don't have to give a breastfed baby water. Now, bottle fed babies on hot days, you know, if it's in the summer or whichever, they do say you can also substitute and give them a bit of boiled water as well, in case they get thirsty. Well, you don't need to do that with breast milk, because if you have a day when it is especially hot, or you're in a warm house, or say your baby is thirsty and not hungry, your baby will suck on your breast in a different way when they're thirsty to what they do when they are hungry. They'll do a quick this type sucking when they're thirsty, whereas it'll be a long gulping when they're hungry. Now, if they do this quick type sucking, your body will water down the milk so as it hydrates them rather than fills them. So your baby, depending whether it's hungry or thirsty, your body will adapt and change its milk to suit the baby's needs. So you don't need to give them any extra water or anything like that. Another reason, better bond. Right, when I say better bond, I'm not saying that you can't bond with your baby or it's any less of a bond if you bottle feed, but I feel as a breastfeeding mum that's going to breastfeed with my next baby, I felt that I had a much better bond with my baby, because when you are feeding, I know you hold them when you're feeding with a bottle, but it's just that closeness. It made me feel more close to my baby, because I had postnatal depression, and I think breastfeeding helped me a lot. I think I would have struggled a lot more if I'd have been bottle feeding as opposed to breastfeeding. I felt that it brought me and my daughter closer together, and it was like an extra special bond. But that is me and myself, not saying that that changes things with anybody else. And as I've just said, it helped with my postnatal depression, and it has actually been proven you can still get PND if you're breastfeeding, but it's usually less severe than what it would be if you were bottle feeding, because when you're feeling down in the dumps, when your baby feeds, the hormones that your body releases makes you feel relaxed and happy and content, and that can help a lot with the way you were feeling at that time, and can just lift your mood a little bit. As I've already mentioned, no sterilising bottles or buying bottles. You don't have to buy bottles. I mean, if you choose to express, then you can, but if you choose to exclusively breastfeed, you don't need to buy bottles. There's no sterilising needed. Even if you buy bottles to express, you still don't need to sterilise them. Because, I mean, I only recently found that out, and because of the antibacterial properties in your milk, it'll kill off any bacteria that could be in the bottles, so you don't even need to sterilise them, so you don't need to buy a steriliser. Just rinse them out under the tap, done. Healing properties. Oh, breast milk has absolutely wonderful healing properties, and I have seen it firsthand. I'll give a couple of, like, tell you a couple of things that they work with my daughter. One, she was a bad sufferer from eczema, and what I used to do is put a little breast milk in her baths, and when I did this, her eczema completely cleared up. There was none of it, and I mean, as soon as she stopped breastfeeding and I was unable to, once I dried up and I couldn't put it in her bath no more, it came back with a vengeance. She had conjunctivitis in her eye once, and I rubbed it into her eye, and it got rid of it completely. I didn't even need to see a doctor. When I've had anything wrong, like cuts or, things that may otherwise, skin conditions and things, I've just rubbed it on, and it's healed it up so much quicker than any of these creams or antibiotics do. It is amazing. So it's really good for the healing properties, and there's so many things that it can heal and is good for. Can feed at any time, no waiting, I've put down here. So in other words, like with bottle feeding, you would need to boil the kettle, wait half an hour for it to cool, and then make your bottle up. Whereas in that half an hour, you could have a screaming baby and not know what to do with them. And whenever they want to feed, it's literally up, put baby on, that's it, done. You just feed them whenever they need feeding, just do it. You don't have to mess about. When you're leaving the house, you don't need to worry about, have I got this, have I got that, and the bottles, have I got enough for this many hours. You just feed whenever. I've already mentioned about it being a relaxant. When you're feeding, your body releases hormones that relax you. They don't need to be winded. Most breastfed babies, not saying all, but most, don't need to be winded, because when they're drinking formula, bubbles form in the, bubbles form in the bottles, or sometimes they can suck air in through the bottles, and this is what can build up, air in the tummy, and you have to wind them, because if you don't, they can end up being sick. Because a breastfed baby's feeding right off the breast, there's no bubbles or winds inside your breast, so they don't need to be winded, and it's very rare that they're sick either, because a lot of times when babies are sick, it is due to still having trapped wind in the stomach, so it's very rare that they get like colic or reflux or anything like that when they're breastfed as well. Better nappies, I've put down. Basically, with a breastfed baby, with bottle-fed babies, they tend to have poos quite often, and more so and more smelly. Breastfed babies have a lot smaller poos. They smell a lot better. I wouldn't say they smell nice, because I can't say, you know, any poo smells nice, but it's not a horrible smell. It's just a soft milky smell. There's no horribleness to it at all, and it'll be literally a little most tiniest blob like a pound coin. And some breastfed babies can even go up to a week or more without needing a poo, because you think about it, when you eat food, when bottle-fed babies have their bottles or whichever, anything in that food which is not needed by the body or is left over, they will just, you know, release, get rid of, poo out what the body doesn't need. Now, with breastfed babies, nearly everything that is in breast milk is what a baby needs. There isn't much of anything left over what they don't need, so they don't need to poo as much. So they tend to not poo very often compared to bottle-fed babies, which in the long run, I mean, it depends if you're cloth diapering or nappies, but say you're nappy changing and not using cloth diapers, you will spend a lot less money and use a lot less nappies usually with a breastfed baby, because they don't tend to poo as much. So yeah, I just wanted to state that this might not be everybody's views. Not everybody's views are the same. And in no way am I trying to say anyone who doesn't breastfeed is a bad mother, because you are not. You always, everyone's a good mum, no matter whether you breastfeed, bottle feed, whatever. These are just my views based on my personal experience. But in my own views, not yours, cow's milk is designed for calves. And it's not designed for humans or humans' babies. I mean, I'm not vegan, anything like that, before people start judging. I've got nothing against vegans, by the way. I completely respect their choice in their diet. But I still do believe in cow's milk is for cows. It's designed for an animal that's much, much bigger than a human. So it's going to have different things in it based on what a calf needs and not what a baby needs. So this is why I'm thinking sometimes it can cause more problems being on that, because all formula comes from cow's milk. So and I've noticed more babies suffer with colic and gastroenteritis who have formula. They're more likely to gain allergies when they're on formula as well. And like I said, these are my reasons and my opinions, nobody else's, as to how I chose to feed my baby and will do with my next and why. If you choose to bottle feed your child or have done, then thumbs up, that's fine. I have no problem with that. That is your child and you are the mother. It is your choice. But I am going to breastfeed my next baby that's due in a few months, just based on all the research I did beforehand. I mean, I was a young mum when I had my first daughter as well, so it wasn't a case of, you know, oh, I don't want to do that, because some teenagers see it as, oh, I'm not doing that, it's disgusting and whatever. I screwed my head on and thought, no, I think this is what's best for my baby, and whether I like it or not, this is what I'm doing. And that's what I did. And it doesn't matter if you've got massive boobs, little boobs, you think you don't produce enough milk, you more than likely do. I mean, there is some people who can't, but in a majority of cases, you will produce enough milk for the baby, but you'll never express the same amount as what you produce. So you might think, well, why am I only getting 1 ounce? That isn't enough. Your breast will be producing more than 1 ounce. It's just your body doesn't want to give it up to an artificial pump that's trying to suck it out rather than a baby. So that is why some people can't really express very well. And it doesn't matter what breast size you're not going to produce more milk just because you've got bigger breasts, because the milk gets produced as the baby's feeding. It will get produced before, but it'll keep producing as the feeding as well. So otherwise, if it just kept producing any time, then you'd just be coming gorged and massive. I might do another talk based on, because my memories nearly ran out on my phone, so I might do another talk based on my breastfeeding experience, because I, believe it or not, I'm not one of them mums who was like, wow, breastfeeding was amazing, it was brilliant. I went through a lot of hard times at first, and I came through the other side of the tunnel, and it was amazing after, but there was a lot of hurdles I had to go over. There was a lot of issues I had with the breastfeeding to start with, so I might do another video on that to explain that, because some other mums might have had problems that I had, and I think it'd be nice to just tell them how I overcome the problems, so then other mums who may be struggling might look and think, oh, actually, I'm having that, you know, and oh, I didn't know that, and then think, you know, I can do that to improve this, or whichever. Right, I best stop babbling on, because my memory literally is going to run out in about 1 minute, so I'll leave that at that, and I'll put another video on it another date. It'll probably be in a few weeks or so, maybe sooner, depending if I get the time, because I'm working a lot now, because I've just opened up my new business. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.